I want to say after the fifth or sixth, and then I can't remember what round it was that he ended up stopping Cal Brook. But that really was a huge test, being the fact that Cal Brook is a bigger welterweight fighter, and he took on some pretty. I mean, he stripped Sean Porter from his IBF title. You know, had it for that long until Earl Spence brought it back to the Americas. Lamont, you there?
Yeah,
Hey, Lamont, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. How you enjoying that cold weather out in Washington D.C.?
One way or another, I'm in a house, so at the gym, so it's staying pretty warm.
Oh, good.
Now,
Um, Go ahead. Sorry.
so for the listeners listening in again, let me just repeat who we have on the line. We have the welterweight contender, two-division world champion. He was also the unified WBA and IBF light welterweight champion in 2011, Lamont Peterson. And Lamont is going to be going up against Earl the Truth Spence this weekend in Brooklyn. So that's who we have on the line. Callers, if you're listening in, we are taking phone calls right now. We're also taking questions on our Ustream and on our Facebook Live. Lamont, thank you for calling in.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so, we were just talking about the tip-top shape you were in. I had posted a video on Supreme Boxing because besides the NBC Southern California Boxing Report that I work for, I also do some writing for Supreme Boxing, and we seen the video of you getting hit, with that medicine ball, hanging on those Olympic rings, taking that medicine ball. And this is probably the best shape I've seen you in. I know you fought a lot of your fights at 140. You're coming up to 147 for this fight. How is your conditioning coming along?
It's pretty good. They say the older you get, the rougher it's supposed to be on you, but it seems like for me so far, the older I'm getting, the smarter I'm getting, the more I'm getting out of training camp, and moving up to welterweight has been a big help too. So, yes, I'm in very good condition. One of the best training camps of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to a great fight next weekend.
Lamont, I always say, time has changed. Back in the days, the time the fighters were in their prime was in the early 20s, and now it seems like within the late 20s to early 30s, that's when they're in their prime now.
Yeah.
It's definitely different.
I think it's technology.
Yeah, that's true.
All the recovery tools that we have to help prolong our career. For me, I know it's train hard, and I'm able to train as hard as I need to train or want to train, because I know there's so many things I can use to help me recover and get ready for the next day and do it again. Whereas though back in the day, you probably tear your body down and probably didn't have the proper nutrients or equipment to actually get you back and ready to go again. So I know it took a lot of wear and tear on their body. Fight took a lot out of them. And they fought more often than us too.
Yeah, that's
true. So their
true.
career kind of burnt out a little faster than ours.
That is definitely true. Now that you're going into camp, going into fight week, is your camp closed, or do you do some, light stuff during the week of fight week?
Yeah, of course you have to maintain sharpness, maintain your weight, try to keep that game plan fresh in your head. You'll go through walkthroughs, but nothing strenuous. Some guys cut weight, last week, so they'll work a little harder than others. My weight is pretty good right now, so I'll work tomorrow. Pretty sturdy work days for tomorrow, because I have pretty much almost 2 days off now for the weekend. So I should be nice and rested, ready to go. So I'll train hard maybe Monday, lighten it up Tuesday. Wednesday, we have a public workout in New York. I'll do that, and that'll be all I'll do. Thursday, I'll train again, maybe to cut maybe 2 pounds, and then that's it for me.
And then it's go time.
So,
Yep.
in the amateurs, Lamont, I've heard that you and Spence actually sparred in the amateurs, and you may have gotten the best of Spence. I know it's a different story now that you guys are both professionals, and that was that's been a while back. But how did the sparring between you and Spence actually go?
It was fun, and I was there to help him. getting ready for the Olympics. I was a professional at the time, ready to fight for Amir Khan for the world title. But Freddie Roach was the head trainer for the Olympic team at the time, and he decided, and my coach, Barry Hunter, was part of that group too. They all decided to have professionals come in and spar with some of the amateurs. They thought that would be a big help to get them ready for the Olympics. And so me, guys like Kid Chocolate, Anthony Durrell, and a few other pros came out, to help those guys. And it was fun. It was strictly that. I was just trying to pass on a few things that I remember from my amateur days, my international boxing days, to him. I wasn't there to try to win a sparring match or trying to knock him out or anything. I was just trying to share information with him. So we actually got in good rounds. I saw that he was a solid fighter, even at at his age and as an amateur. I knew he would be at this point someday as a world champion.
And now that you're facing him, you decided to vacate that WBA bout that you won from Aveson in order to face Errol Spence, and we understand that you guys are friends. How long did it take you some time to think about vacating in order to face Spence, or you were on game?
No, I was on with this because at the end of the day, when you're in that top position at any weight class in boxing, I feel like you have obligations to fight the best.
Yes.
I'm not sure who my mandatory was. Some names were tossed around, but it was no one who was in the top 10. And no disrespect to those guys, I'm sure they probably could fight, but the fans want to see the bigger names fight each other. So I try to always reach forward, or someone who's considered to be better than me, or around that top 5 area. And that's what came across on my table. So of course I was going to take it.
Lamont Peterson's name has never been in the same sentence as ducking. I can tell you that. I've been covering boxing for a while now, but you hear that word thrown around on social media. You hear, oh, he ducked so and so, and he ducked so and so. So I want to commend you, Lamont, for taking every major fight that's ever been offered to you, from Athisi to Danny Garcia to
Timothy Bradley.
You name it, you've been in those fights, and that's we don't see a lot of that anymore. Boxing has turned into so much of a business that it's actually few and far between that we see the best fight the best, or the fights that the fans want. And you're constantly putting yourself out there to take on the best, and I commend you for that, Lamont.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
With Spence, with this fight, what would winning, what would it do for your career? I know, you would become world champion again, but how would that, what do you think that would do in this stacked division for your career?
All wins, of course you take a step forward, but this is a guy who's considered to be, if not the best, second best in the weight class. This is really, honestly, my second fight at the weight class, and if I can take that big jump from that middle of the top stack to the top, then of course that's a great jump for me. Becoming a world champion again will mean a lot to me. I really love the IBF and those guys and the way they deal with their champion. So I'm looking forward to being a champion again with those guys. And just overall, just able to call shots better, and get a little busier this year on fight strategy.
On paper, you and Errol are both the same size. You're the same height. They have you on paper both listed at 5'9". Both of you guys with a 72-inch reach.
And both you guys are body punchers.
Both you guys are body punchers. Is your plan to go in there to try to box with Spence and try to use your jab, or is it to go in and make it a war?
For me, I like to have several game plans and kind of let the pace flow the way it flows. I think I'll do all eventually, and I think he'll he'll do the same. He'll try to do the same because we both know that we're both two good inside fighters. I'm not sure if a lot of people know that, Earl can box. He know how to work off his jab and use his foot movement.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when you have two guys who could fight in the inside as well as we do, sometimes that person might have you in an uncomfortable position where you do have to take a step back and have to box a little. But at the same time, if I just start boxing and he's coming forward so much, I don't want to seem like I'm running away from him. So, of course, I'll mix my attacks, and I'm sure he'll do the same.
You had Barry Hunter in your corner since day one, since before you even basically started boxing. When he became yours and your brother's mentor. What does it mean for you to have him at your corner still after all this time?
It means a lot. It means that we have good chemistry together.
Mm-hmm.
We're two solid individuals who care a lot about each other and loyal.
Yeah.
A lot of times when fighters lose or the fighter lose, the coach don't want the fighter anymore, and
Yeah.
the fighter don't want the coach anymore. But we know this boxing, our relationship is bigger than boxing. Is we have trust in each other. We have, so we know that we can pretty much get through anything. So just having him there, regardless of what happens, through the ups and downs, you have someone solid, in your corner, that takes you a long way.